Every small town has a secret. Ours has a game.
Welcome to Panic!
You don't need panic to go to college.
Yeah, I do.
Just be careful.
You gotta know what to be afraid of, when to be afraid of it, and you gotta know the difference.
I ain't got no place to go.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, and thanks for coming to hang out with us today on Twitch with Amazon. So today is a really special stream. I have the pleasure of getting to talk to the one and only Tate McRae. And we're here today because she has a new song that she just wrote for the Amazon Prime series Panic, and it's called Darkest Hour. So first of all, before we get talking, I want to give I basically want to brag about my new friend Tate. So Tate McRae, I wrote this myself, by the way. Tate McRae is a singer, songwriter, and dancer who competed on So You Think You Can Dance and has appeared on dozens of award shows and talk shows. Now, as a singer, she has multiple viral hits, including one of 2020's biggest songs, You Broke Me First. If you haven't heard it, then where were you last year? Probably quarantining at home. She's the youngest musician ever to be featured on Forbes 30 Under 30, which is funny, Tate, because I think I'm the oldest. I was on Forbes 30 Under 30 when I was 30, but I was 30 by the time the list came out. So I think I'm the oldest person. So we both hold records. Also, Tate released her debut album in 2020, Things I Never Said. And like I said before, her song Darkest Hour is in the final episode of Amazon Prime's newest series, Panic. Okay, there we go. Tate, how are you?
Woo, we killed that.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Happy Memorial Day weekend to you.
You too.
Yeah, it does feel good. So first of all, let's start out by talking about Darkest Hour. Have you gotten to see the show? Have you seen the whole show?
So yeah, I got sent the episodes, and I love thriller episodes, like thriller TV shows. They're some of my favorites. So I got addicted to it really, really fast. And it was just really cool getting to write for a TV series. I just had never done anything like it. So I was on FaceTime with Isa, who I wrote the song with, and we kind of had to put it into the TV show and play around, and it was really cool.
That is so cool, by the way, that you worked with Isa Summers. So for anyone in the chat, Isa Summers is a writer for Florence and the Machine. She's like the other half,
she's amazing.
Machine side of Florence and the Machine, if you guys know that group. And she's incredible. I'm a fan of that group, so that's so cool. How was it working with Isa?
She's crazy, but she's amazing. Her brain works like a mile a minute. I was like, whoa, but she's so genius, and it was really, really cool. We only got to meet over FaceTime, and she was in London, but it was crazy.
That's amazing. By the way, guys, in the chat, if you want to ask Tate any questions as well, please write them in the chat. I'm going to try to go cross-eyed by looking at the chat and looking at Tate, so I can catch some of your questions and add that into the conversation. Continuing to talk about Darkest Hour, was there any characters in specific or themes from the show that really stood out to you that helped you write the song or that you related to?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Heather, the main character, is such a badass. I think she just has that, aura about her. She doesn't really care about shit. So I think definitely thought she was definitely a powerful character in the show. And then I feel like the whole concept of the show is just super exciting, and I just wish my life was a TV show like that. I mean, not exactly. I wouldn't want to be facing my worst fears, but that
it's that internal adrenaline that we all have makes you be like, I want to be that person. Oh, I don't really.
Totally. Yeah. Kind of.
I see a lot of people asking about your roommate. Is that something you want to talk about at all?
So
if you're uncomfortable, you don't have to share any information that
we're not roommates. We're in the same building. So we hang out.
Fun.
We're not roommates. Her name's Olivia, and she's the best.
That's awesome. Yeah. So many people are like, Olivia, ? Is she a roommate? Now that we got that settled. Also, how did writing this song come about? Like, how did you get presented with this opportunity?
I think this was a long time ago that I got told that I was going to be doing the soundtracky thing for this show. I think it was like before Christmas, even like a really, really long time ago. And then, it was just like a back and forth thing in my dad's basement at home in Canada, because we were still in a pandemic when we wrote it. So it was really interesting putting it together. I didn't really know how it sounded fully until it was in the show.
Oh, that's so cool. So you got to kind of just experience it like any viewer would.
Yeah, it was really cool. Going to the premiere the other night, hearing it on like the big screen after they like premiered all the episodes, it was really cool.
I cry really easily. I would probably cry, just like seeing it in that kind of a setting. Like, did you get emotional at all?
I didn't get emotional. I think I get emotional usually after things happen, like weeks after. I'll be like, wow, I did that. But like in the moment, I'm very much like a piece of cardboard, just like no emotion.
That's so funny. It's like hard for you to contextualize it in the moment. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's hard to like realize it that things are actually happening.
Yeah, it's like you're almost in shock over it. Let's see, Tate's red beanie. I wonder, that must be a fan of yours. I'm just guessing. I'm just throwing that out there. They're asking, what was your inspiration for the song?
My inspiration for the song, it was just me and Isa basically creating something cinematic for the last episode. And that was like the whole concept, was trying to grasp like the story of it. I had to watch the episodes in order to get like the feel of what was happening. And then we kind of just had to figure out what was going to be best for like the last, hurrah of the show. And that was kind of how it got put together, which was crazy to think of it in that way.
Yeah, like I've always been fascinated by film scoring. And so you basically just like got to, in one song, score a film, Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Totally.
So let's see. Someone says, are you team Damon or Stefan? Is that?
Oh my God.
Is that in the show?
No, I don't think that's in the show.
Oh, wait, Damon's or Stefan. Okay. I think I know what that's from. So this is Arched and Dog. Do you have an answer?
Oh, I'm definitely team Damon, 1,000%. I mean, I love
Dark,
but I'm team Damon.
Drake agrees with you. Their team, he
Drake,
team Damon as well.
Yeah.
So let's see. You have done something that is so rare, and I'm just like fascinated by this. When I first like heard you exploding all over the world, I was like, this is incredible what she's done. And I don't think people realize, maybe some of you in the chat don't realize how incredibly rare it is for a dancer to transition from that world, being famous and known for being a dancer, to the world of being like a famous singer and a pop star. That is so crazy. It's one of the hardest transitions to make in entertainment. Very few people have ever succeeded in it. And I'm talking like the list is like, I could only think of like J-Lo and Paula Abdul. I'm sure there's like a couple more, but how did you make that transition?
I mean, the thing is that I've been dancing since I was 6. So it was like that whole idea of like, if my fans were actually going to even enjoy me singing. And for the longest time, I never even considered myself a vocalist. I just wrote songs and posted them on YouTube. And then I think like a whole other audience kind of grew with me when I was super young. And then I signed to the label that I'm with, and they've kind of just stuck with me, like my dance followers and my singing followers. And now I'm able to do both, which is like the biggest dream of mine. So it's really cool.
Have you gotten to do a lot of live performing? Like, I mean, I feel like you got huge during the pandemic when that wasn't a thing, you couldn't perform. So have you gotten to do a lot of shows as a singer yet?
I haven't, because some of my biggest performances were literally in the pandemic. But
what did you do? I'm so curious.
Yeah, literally majority of them were in a warehouse in Toronto. So I was like not in a crowd, just, filming them. I did European Music Awards, and then I did like 4 late night TV shows and didn't Jimmy Fallon twice and Jimmy Kimmel twice and didn't meet them both times.
You're like, that's the best part. By the way, Sydney 31 is saying, yeah, she had a virtual concert 2 weeks ago in like all caps with like exclamations. And then she says, I miss you, Tate. So I think I'm just going to venture to say that Sydney really liked your show and that it was really good.
Love Sydney.
Oh yeah, right there. Yeah, and then she says she was amazing. So yeah, when I'm curious though, when you do get to do live performances and perform, you know, what are going to be huge shows, is dancing going to be a big element in your performance, or are you kind of hoping to keep them like separate?
I definitely want them to be a big part of it. I definitely So the choreographer who I've been working with since I was 9, and she used to choreograph for me on So You Can Dance. She's choreographing all of my stuff for like festivals, shows, everything. So
no, wait, who is it?
Her name is Michelle Dolly, and she literally does everything for me. I love her.
Isn't that the best when you just find those people that you're like, I understand you, you get me, like no need to search further, no more awkward first, like, you know, sessions with someone, like you are my person for this. Like,
it's so nice. And I can literally, we're so honest with each other. We have no filters. So if I'm like, we're on set, you can be like, that looks terrible. And I'll be like, I hate that. Like, we're just super honest, but we love each other to death, which is like the best relationship you can have. So
the best. And also like in this industry, like some people say it's so fickle and so fake but you know, it can be, there's that side of it, but it can also be so deep and so real if you find your people and stick with them. And so, you know, that's what makes it possible for me to at least stay sane, stay happy, is those kind of people. So
it's your circle.
Someone else said, let's see, I always have such a hard time reading these screen names. Regina Zhang said, your show made me cry.
Oh my
That's
God.
really sweet.
Aw, that was so fun.
Regina, you're like me. You cry. I probably would have cried if I watched it too, because yeah, I'm like I said, my emotions are always like right here.
Are you a Cancer?
No is the correct answer, but I do a lot of dancing.
Oh no, I'm not a Cancer like that.
I think it's a dancer. No, I'm not. Do Cancers get really emotional?
Apparently, I don't cry a lot, but I'm a Cancer. But apparently, they do get like really.
Got you. I'm a Virgo, and I think we're semi-emotional supposedly. So I must be an outlier of them. Are you really into astrology?
I'm trying to get into it because
me too.
I think it's so interesting. I just don't know anything about it. So
I'm in the same boat. I've always been fascinated by it. And like, I'm into like crystals and stones. Like, I believe that kind of hippie stuff. So I'm like, I've missed my calling in life. Why have I not gotten into astrology?
I know, it's my next thing to focus on. Not
exactly.
Music, astrology.
It should be our new hobby. We can like chat about like, hey, did you know Mercury's in retrograde, Tate? Like stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, okay. I'll chat you later. Maybe we'll make a new stream sometime about astrology.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of already answered this earlier. You said that you kind of casually threw songs out on your YouTube channel, but did you want to be a singer ever, or was it literally just a casual thing?
Well, obviously I feel like my biggest dream was like, I want to be a pop star when I'm older.
Right.
But you never really know how to get into the business. Like the music industry is so weird. Where like, how do you get signed by a label and how do you get on the radio? Like there's so many questions to how to get there. And I just had no idea. So I was a dancer and I thought that I was going to be a backup dancer my whole life until I just started like growing it on my own, on my YouTube. And that was a whole accident, that happening. So I don't even know what happened in the process.
You know, though, the thing about accidents that happen like that, like it may have been an accident that happened, but that doesn't happen unless you're doing all the things to make it happen. You know what I mean? Like you had a YouTube channel, you were putting up content, you were putting yourself out there, you were being vulnerable, you put yourself on TV. Like you had done a lot of work to make it so that an accident could happen. Like, you know, and I think that's sometimes the thing that a lot of people don't realize is that like, no one blows up overnight.
No.
And nobody does.
That's the thing. Like also, you know, it was an accident, but then again, I felt like I lived like 9 lives before that as a dancer. Like I'm sure. I'd experienced everything and had worked like 40 hours a week, every single week for something to happen. So, I mean, I think, life just goes as it calls, but you definitely have to work for it. It's not an overnight thing for anything to happen.
Nothing. Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Tate SUWU says Tate's a baby, and I thought, and I'm sure they mean young, not like a baby. But it was funny because right before we, went live, Tate and I were chatting, and I realized that I am double her age, and I was like shocked. I was like, wait.
She doesn't look that old. Like she looks like she's in her 20s. I was
You're
like,
so
I really don't think so. I was
You're
shocked.
so kind, but it's just funny because I feel like, other artists and stuff, I just feel like we're all like peers and I'm like the same age. And then I like see pictures of you guys at prom and like graduating and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're babies. Yeah. So yeah, you've done so much for being so young. So it's incredible. Okay. Also, interestingly enough, we both started our YouTube channels right around the same time, which is kind of crazy.
Really?
Yeah. And so since you began using social media, I believe it was back in 2011, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you started your YouTube channel. So how do you feel like the platforms and social media and all that stuff have changed in the last decade that you've been using it?
Well, the thing is, in 2011, how old was I? Like, I think that was when I was 7. So when I was 7, I posted one video because it was my brother's YouTube account. It was my brother's YouTube account. So I posted an original song that I'd written. It was awful, but then I didn't post for the next 4 years. So technically I started my channel, I think it was in 2015. So when I was 13. So yeah, I mean, I feel like it's evolved so much. I've watched it my entire life. I have all my favorite YouTubers on there, and I think
who's some of your favorites?
I mean, I feel like right now I don't have any. I love Cody Ko. I watch him all the time.
No way.
So funny. There's a lot of other ones, but I can't think of any right now. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, it's all good. I totally put you on the spot. It is crazy how much social media has just even since 2013, it's changed dramatically. Like the communities on there, the way that people interact with it, and that must have been pretty crazy to spend your adolescence being seen by lots of people. Millions of people saw you when you were in your teens. And so I don't know, what was that like? That's a big question, but I don't even know if there's a way to wrap that up.
It was really funny because I had this whole perception in my head that if I'm really bad at talking about myself in person. So if I ever left school one day and I felt weird about a situation or something, I would literally write a song about it and post it so my friends could hear it to understand me.
Oh, that's actually so sweet.
It was so funny. If I ever had a crush on a dude, obviously I'm really stubborn, so I wouldn't actually say it to his face, but then I'd go write a song, post it, and hope he'd hear it. That was my mentality.
That is so sweet and so endearing. I love that.
You literally watch my diary on YouTube when I was 14. And I mean,
gosh,
I can't take it back now. It's got a couple million views. So.
Oh my gosh, I definitely feel that way about a handful of my early videos. It's millions of views later, regret that one.
Yeah, I know.
But I love that it sounds like you left them up and you leave them there, because I think that's actually really cool. And that's why I chose to leave mine up as well, because it's cool for people to see where you came from, where you started, and the journey you were just talking about. And I think that gives a lot of people a hope of oh my gosh, Lindsey was super awkward when she started, and Tate was just starting to write songs about crushes when she started. And it kind of probably gives people a little bit of confidence, I would think.
They grow up with you. It's like growing up with a friend. You see them on their worst stages of their life and their best. So it's honestly beneficial because my fans feel they're kind of close to me, in a way.
I can see that in the chat. Like, I can see that your like, first of all, I think it's so fun that so many of them have your name in there. You know, I heart Tate McRae.
Fans are the funniest people ever. I feel like we're like friends. I don't know why.
I can tell. I mean, well, partially because some of them are asking questions, and I'm like, I'm not going to ask her that. That's too personal. Like, I'm not going to relay that one. But they're asking because I think they feel like they know. You know, I mean, not they feel like they know you, but because they know you.
We definitely know each other.
Yeah, you guys are close. You guys are tight. I love that. So another fun commonality that we share is you and I have both experienced the crazy, like, reality TV world.
Yes.
So, I mean, I was on a talent search format. I was on America's Got Talent, like, years ago, so long ago. So I kind of know, like, I went through my own, like, I know how crazy that is, but I just want to hear, like, however much you want to tell or not tell, what was that experience like for you? Because you were 13.
I was 13.
You were 13.
I auditioned for the show when I was 12. So think about me, like 12-year-old Tate, knowing nothing about myself at all, auditioning for the show. Thank God I like kind of had my shit together in the dance world. Like I was like very much knew what I was doing, but as a person, like I was like, I don't even know what my personality is yet. And so I think being followed by a camera and putting you on live TV like every Monday night after learning a piece in 3 days was like putting a whole bunch of stress on me at a young age, which I think actually benefited me now because I don't get stressed that easily. Because
that's amazing.
Because I was forced to be under pressure for so long and so many years. Yes,
I want to talk about the moment on reality TV when you're about to go. Like, I've done a lot of things in my, 34 years on this planet, but there is nothing that is as like it just shoots adrenaline into you. Like, I want to hear from you. What is that moment like when you know that they are like 5, 4, 3, and you're about to perform? I got chills just now thinking about it.
Oh my God. Well, the thing is that there's like on So I Think You Can Dance, there was this little beep noise that would happen before every routine. So it'd be like, beep, 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 go. And then it'd be camera on. And you knew that like millions of people were watching live. It wasn't pre-recorded either. So it's like, if you messed up, you were done.
Yes. I did Dancing with the Stars a few years ago. And I know exactly the same exact thing. And literally your whole body goes tense and you're just like, please remember everything that I just shoved into my brain in the last 3 days. Like, please don't make a fool of myself. Like,
no, one time in a salsa routine on So I Think You Can Dance, I was like with my partner and I like blanked out for a second because it was my first time ever doing salsa. And I like forget, but I blanked out and I remember we were like doing a move and he was like, nope, not yet. And like pulled me back.
Oh gosh.
I was like,
that's one of the great things about ballroom is you get to rely on thank heavens I had, a professional dancer as my partner that could do that. Nope, not yet, Lindsey. Like, I'm going to literally pull you across the stage. Like,
true. It's so true. Yeah, no. The stress, like the adrenaline right before you go on is like one of the craziest feelings in the world.
It literally is. It's hard to describe because it's so like electric. You're just like,
it is.
And then, but how does it feel though? It like anything has its opposite. So that same energy that explodes out of you when you dance, and then when you're done and you feel like you've done well, like explain that.
I mean, then it's like, I remember I just always got hungry. After you have, this is horrible. After every night that like, it was like a big stress night and you like did something, I'd be like, let's go get a burger. Like that was like the first thing that came to my head. Cause it's like this like huge relief and weight off your shoulders.
And then you have just a few days before the stress starts again and you start to learn like a whole new style. So yeah. Mine was pizza. I had a specific pizza spot that on Monday nights, I would just go. So anyways, I love
Monday nights.
Yeah. I was like, I bet we got some commonality there for sure. So what else are you working on in the moment? I want to hear what's next for you. Like, are you working on new music? Obviously, everyone in the chat, just so you know, the reason we're here today is because there is a new song, Darkest Hour, that is on the final episode of Amazon Prime, and Tate sings on it. It's her song. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But okay, what are you working on?
So that in the Amazon series. And then I have a collab with Black Bear coming out this week.
No way.
So that'll be fun.
That's huge.
I'm really excited about that. And then I'm doing a song with a big idol of mine coming up in a couple, I don't know when, very soon. I don't know what I can say, but something, doing a music video soon. And then I'm writing an album right now. So,
oh my gosh, amazing.
So I'm like, there's a lot going on.
You're a busy girl. That's crazy. Okay, for so many exciting things. Like, I see people really excited about the Black Bear. Longboard Vibes is saying Black Bear. Tate, I cannot wait. So everybody's super excited. They're freaking out about your album. So the person that you cannot mention that you have collabed with, was this like very much so a pinch me moment when you got to work with them?
Yeah, it wasn't until like after I tracked the song, I got like chills when I was recording it because I'm like, I am fangirling right now and I'm doing a song with this person.
Were they there?
No. I mean, no.
That's probably a good thing because it's
I would have been like not being able to.
Totally. Oh, so much exciting stuff. So you're absolutely killing it right now. Okay, so having had so much happen to you in the last decade, like literally you've lived your life in the spotlight and you've grown up in the public eye from such a young age. What are some of the most important things that you have learned through the process?
I mean, I think there's a lot with social media. Like the biggest thing for me is just like, you have to know yourself before you want to read anything online, because there's a lot of people that try to assume exactly who you are. And I know like this sounds cliche, but because they're going to try and form you into whatever they want you to look like or whatever you think you are, what you want to say. And if you don't know yourself, you're going to crumble into pieces. And I feel like because I had social media at such a young age, I like had to figure that out at like 12. Even reading comments on So You Can Dance, I had to know that I was like, this is the type of dancer I am, this type of person I am. And it's important. Otherwise it can destroy you.
Okay, I hope everybody listened to that. Those are such wise words. Like you said it so well too. I love how you said you have to know who you are. And something that, I wish I'd understood that when I was 17. But Facebook and, hadn't come about yet when I was 17. But like, for real though, if you do not decide who you are and what you value in yourself, and if you basically don't kind of create your own understanding and definition of who you are, you give everybody else the power to decide for you. Yeah,
it's true. And then it can, you're going to be so confused, even though as a 17-year-old, I'm already confused enough with the people I surround myself by and myself and what goes through my brain. If I let reading other comments get involved in that, oh my God, I could not last. It would be a lot. Yeah.
Nobody can, people get bombarded, whether you're a celebrity or whether you're just a kid in high school. Like, everybody gets bombarded by stuff. And so anyways, I hope if you guys can take anything away from this, take the fact that Amazon Prime has a new series and that you have to decide who you are and know yourself first. And remember that every time you see something that you don't like on social media, just remember, I know who I am. So it's true. Wise words from Tate. Thank you so much for chatting with me today. Like, I want to be best friends. Next time when I'm back in LA, let's be best friends, and we'll talk about astrology and learn together.
I'm so down. Let's do it.
And everybody else, stick around because we're going to go into watching the first 2 episodes right now. So stay tuned to watch it. Bye, Tate. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Every small town has a secret. Ours has a game.
Welcome to Panic!
You don't need panic to go to college.
Yeah, I do.
Just be careful.
I'm not going home.
You gotta know what to be afraid of, when to be afraid of it, and you gotta know the difference.
I ain't got no place to go.